here we are. Another one of our little drives. Beautiful day here in February 10th. So we're going to play with this little 993 here today. You know, 993s would really, in my opinion, save Porsche. They was a car that cut the cost of production. When the 964s came out, they were stupid expensive. There'll be a little drift here, tire's cold. When these cars were introduced, I went to the first dealer meeting, and they told us about these cars, and the base price was $59,000. Don't we wish we could buy those cars again? But this car is a cab, and when the 993s first came out, you couldn't get a 993 cab. So we were selling the coupes, and the cabs came out several months later, and they were an immediate hit. Nowadays, everybody wants the coupes. Go figure, right? 10 years from now, everybody's going to want cabs. But they're great cars. Probably one of my favorite of the air-cools, truth be known. But I love them all. I mean, they're all really cool. But this one is kind of set up pretty well. We did a lot of work to it in our shop. Went through full suspension. You know, typical stuff that goes wrong with them. Lower control arms, bushings wear out, and quite slippery out here. You know, they get loose, but you can see that this car turns in really good. Kind of does everything right. What a great day. I happen to own a 993 RSR, one of the original 20 that came out. My favorite race car. And so I've got a lot of time in 993s and sold a bunch of them throughout the years. And they do everything right. They have enough technology in them that you've got all the really cool creature comforts that we've got in even modern day cars. Big bump here, this car's going to pitch. Let's see if we can beat the truck. Oh yeah, we got it. But, you know, air conditioning really works good. Everything about it. I mean, the ABS system is not intrusive. You step on the brakes, and, you know, it doesn't go into ABS real quick. You know, the steering is really positive. It gives you a lot of road feedback. You know where the car is pointed. It's doing everything it needs to do. They're well balanced. They handle great. They sound great. And in my opinion, you know, it's a car that doesn't require a lot of care and feeding. You know, no valve adjustment, synthetic oils, 6-speed transmissions. I mean, you can't ask for anything more. It's a car that just feels right all the time. A 993 that's set up right. You know, these have the kinetic arms in them, and they're tricky. You need special tools to really get the balance of the rear suspension set up. And if you go through a bump, and the car darts. It's probably because the back end is not hooked up at all. And usually we can tell just by driving the car if it's set up. We can tell, by the kinetic arms if it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's a toe correcting feature that Porsche put in the LSA suspension, light stable agile suspension. That was what we called them back then. And here, we can do a little example. There's a bump up here, and I'll hit it pretty quick. Now, in a normal car, 993, you hit this, and if it's not set up right, it's going to dart all the way over. This car was stable as a rock coming through there. Oh, you better stay there. Yeah, you got it. Tires are starting to come in now. When we first got these cars, they came out in late 94 as 95s, and I remember the first one that came off the truck. I don't think I waited for the guys to do the PDI on the car. I just jumped in it, and at the time I was at a dealership in Fairfield, Connecticut, and we were very close to I-95 and the interstate. And I just jumped in the car and took it on I-95, and I just couldn't believe how great the car was. The tire pressures weren't set. The car just did everything right. It didn't miss a beat. And man, it was so cool. I was the general manager of that dealership at the time, and we had more people come in knowing that we got the first 993s in, and I would just toss people the cars. The keys to the car. We could do that back then, it was just kind of loosey-goosey, and Porsche was just happy to have a dealership that was willing to promote the cars, to be quite honest.